Welcome to AG's in our continuing series on the Tokyo Games and its various facets. And it is coming up in August, not much time left. But it is already mired in controversy because it has been delayed by almost a year. Secondly, the ballooning cost of the games is a matter of massive concern. And they're huge numbers. I'll take you through some of the numbers curated and by our team. And let's try and understand what the cost implications. So first and foremost, the official cost of the postponed Olympics has increased by 22%. And the organizers said the Olympics will cost $15.4 billion to stage. This is up from $12.5 billion in last year's budget. So the added almost $3 billion is the cost of the 1 year delay. These are massive numbers. They are in billions of dollars. And expenses coming from renegotiating contracts and measures to combat the COVID-19 pandemic have had to be paid. The Olympics are to open on July 23rd. The Paralympics follow on August 24th. So we are already hitting June. Now, audits by the Japanese government show the costs are higher than officially stated and are at least at $25 billion. I repeat, the games will cost $25 billion US. The Tokyo Olympics are operating at in a very tough environment. Toshiro Muto, the CEO of the organizing committee, said when he was asked about the record costs, Muto suggested the games, and please listen to this is the Japanese ethos, the game looked at as an investment rather than a cost. Okay, the Japanese government entities are responsible for all the costs except for $6.7 billion in a privately funded operating budget. Now, the organizers in October had announced cost reductions of $280 million, cutting out frills, including hospitality offerings. However, no cuts have been made to the sports program with a full complement of athletes who will descend in Tokyo for the Olympics. 11,000 athletes, and not to say tens of thousands of officials, judges, and sponsors who are expected to attend. Now, about 70 sponsors have already contributed a record $3.3 billion, driven by Dentsu Incorporated, which is the marketing agent for the Tokyo Olympics. All but $6.7 billion of this money is public money. The worldwide Olympic partners, signed centrally by the IOC, are 14 in number. I just take you through a few names. I don't want to go through all the names. For example, Airbnb, Alibaba, Bridgestone, Coca-Cola, Dow Chemicals, General Electric, Intel, Omega, and so on and so forth. Between them, these sponsors will bring in about $1.3 billion, but the lion's share of sponsorship money will stay with the IOC. So the IOC has a very important role to play. Next in line are 15 golden partners. These include the likes of Canon, Fujitsu, NEC, and Tokyo Marine. Then there are 33 official partners. So 15 golden partners, 33 official partners, including the likes of All Nippon Airways, Cisco Systems, Kikoman, Nissan Foods, etc., etc. Next in the pecking order are 19 official sponsors and suppliers that count for Alphabet, Boston Consulting Group, Ernst & Young, and others in the list. Now, where my take is concerned, a couple of important points here. Japanese domestic sponsors were to initially contribute a record of $3.3 billion to the Olympics operating budget, but the postponement by a year pushed the contribution to $3.5 billion, so it has gone up. For Japanese business, the Tokyo Games are a national cause and go beyond discussions of profit or benefit. So for them, it's a much larger enterprise. It's about Japanese nationalism. It's about Japanese pride. So let's not forget that. Cracks are beginning to appear. Japan's Olympic sponsors are scaling back advertising campaigns and delaying marketing events for this year's Summer Games. The budget shows the IOC is contributing $1.3 billion to cover costs of the Games. Its contribution to Tokyo, however, will not increase. IOC's finances are already stressed. It generates 91% of its income from selling broadcast rights and sponsorships. The postponement of the Olympics has stalled its revenue flow, increasing the importance of staging the Olympics in Tokyo. And it is they who will take the final call whether it will be held or not, or even postponed further. The numbers are concerned, there are massive numbers here at play, and the stakes are huge besides the aspect of Japanese nationalism. Now, this 1 year delay to this Olympics alone has cost almost $3 billion, and billions more are being new safety protocols, maintaining the payroll of thousands of staff. And let's not forget that they are not going to be able to sell apartments at the Athletes Village, which comprises almost 6,000 luxury homes to the private sector. So these are staggering numbers. They have to be kept in mind. And while there is a large talk going on and the inner controversy within Japan that whether the game should be held or not, the key lies with the IOC, and the numbers are massive, 25 billion US dollars. Think about it. Thanks for watching AG's.